Hello, and welcome to Gwendolyn's British Baking Show. Today, in this video, I will explore traditional British bakes that originated in England. I will do everything from making a traditional tea time dessert to making a fancy cake that is served at special occasions. In Gwendolyn's British Baking Show, you'll see me make a few mistakes.
I would say they are a little overdone.
Make a little bit of a mess.
It looks kind of messy.
Potentially get salmonella.
I really should not be.
And most importantly, have a lot of fun.
Hello, for the first recipe, I will be making chocolate chip scones. I guess you could say my time starts now. So first, I think this is the bigger bowl. I'll be taking all my dry ingredients together. I chose chocolate chip scones as my signature bake because number one, I really like scones, and I made these before. They're the only one I made before with my mom. Yeah, so I chose chocolate chip scones because I love scones and I've made these with my mom before. Also, scones were one of the recipes I kept seeing when I was doing my research where it was like traditional British bakes. Scones kept popping up. They're just like, if you think of England, you think of scones and tea and crumpets and stuff like that. I don't really know what crumpets are, but I know what a scone is. I'm usually a messy baker, so if I get stuff everywhere, it's because I'm really messy. Take a sip of my tea. I love a good chamomile. All right, and then I will take the butter and I will grate it. Probably shouldn't hold the butter. I don't know. Oops, wrong side. Never really grated butter before. It was really weird though. Also, I did this wrong, so I'm getting butter all over my fingers. I'm working really hard on not grating off a finger. My hands were disgusting. Okay. One thing that this recipe said to use that I did not use was cinnamon. Because, like, making a chocolate chip cookie, I don't really enjoy cinnamon and chocolate chips together. It's kind of gross, and I think it makes it almost like this Christmassy flavor that I really don't like. This is going a lot faster this time now that I know what I'm doing. I always find that things go faster the second time because now you know what you're doing. Alright, I'm just gonna... We're done with this. And now I get to use my hands again and I get to mix it all together. So you mix this all together until you get like a crumbly kind of, not really doughy mixture, but just like a crumbly mixture, almost like a shortbread or a pie crust or dough, but without all the liquidy ingredients. All right, it's mixing together. Looks great. Another reason I love scones is because they are so versatile. They're sweet. You can have a delicious scone. One of my favorite scones I got was a coffee shop I was fired from. They were this raspberry cheesecake scone and they were absolutely delicious and I loved it. That was one of my favorite scones I ever had. You can also make them like savory, like have like a rosemary one. No, okay.
I like to bake using my hands. I like to feel everything. I'm also, again, a messy baker. All right, so now that I have those done, I'll mix in my wet ingredients and brown sugar. I need a drink of tea. So a half cup of heavy cream, and my half cup right here. Yes. I need a half cup of brown sugar as well. Brown sugar should be packed tightly all the time, not just for the rest of this though. So I just like put it in there, pack it with the top of the bag. So I decided to use this recipe specifically because it uses brown sugar instead of white sugar, just regular granulated sugar. Right here it is. So I can get the richer flavor that brown sugar brings. It almost gives it more of like a cookie-ish type taste, like a chocolate chip cookie, because again, it is chocolate chip. And I really like that. That's one of the reasons I picked this recipe in the first place. All right, so I have that done, and then after the brown sugar, I need to mix the egg in. 1, 2, 3. This needs quite a bit of vanilla extract. 1.5 teaspoons. I usually don't put in that much. So I have all my wet ingredients in there, and then I should whisk this stuff together. That's what it said to do. So I'm just gonna break up that brown sugar first and whisk it. So now I take my flour mixture out and I'll drizzle this over. I'll need the whisk again. I forgot about that. So just got this stuff all over me. Again, messy baker. All right, so I have my dry ingredients back out, and now I just need to drizzle my wet ingredients on top. Let's see, so drizzle over the flour mixture and then add the chocolate chips. So I'll add the chocolate chips to that as well. I wouldn't really say I did a drizzle, but it's good enough. Kind of just like dumped it in there. All right, so I'm gonna take my chocolate chips. Oh, I need to cut the bag. I think I can just tear it. Oh, yep, there's a tear line. I can't. Well, I guess I'll just take these chocolate chips. I cleaned this counter before, so it's nice and clean. I'll put this in the half cup. So I need 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. Oh my goodness. I could have done this neater. You can never have too many chocolate chips. That is my mantra. Okay. So now I'm gonna pour the chocolate chips in here. I feel like this is a lot of chocolate chips, I'm not gonna lie. But again, you can never have enough. Mix this together. I'm gonna use the whisk again. That was a horrible idea. I'm gonna get a spoon. All right, now I have a spoon. Drop some chocolate chips to the side. Some elbow grease into this. I'm not the strongest individual, which is a surprise. So this always takes me a little bit longer than it does most people. All right, it's looking more and more mixed by the second. I hate mixing using one of these. It's definitely more crumbly than you would see like a cookie dough, but not as crumbly as a pie. It's kind of like a mix between the two. All right, I'm mixing it together a little bit with my hands because that's what I like to do. All right, so now comes the fun part. I shouldn't have done that. I'm just gonna like take this paper towel roll over here. All right. So now I'm gonna open the flour.
take it over here. So I'll clear this section and flour up this space right here. And then I'm gonna take this out, this mixture out, and put it right here. Because now we're gonna form it into a ball. All right. Oh, oh my. I forgot that I would add more flour to it if I put it on a floured surface. All right, so I'm just making sure everything is in there. It should be a little crumbly, a little sticky. It's a little bit too sticky for me, so I'm almost glad. We have all this flour right here, but I hate over floury stuff. My mom and I made shortbread cookies and they were so floury one time and it was unenjoyable almost, but they're cookies, so I still like them. And we had fun making them. Into an 8-inch disc. Wow, that's quite specific. Oh, I feel like this is 8 inches. I'm just gonna guess that this is 8 inches. So now I just have to divide everything. First I'm gonna divide it into fourths. Well, halves. And there. Okay, so my scones are looking quite delicious now. I'm gonna take them one by one and put them onto this baking sheet. I'm gonna put this in the fridge for 15 minutes. Right. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Perfect. Oh, I have to preheat my oven. All right, I set the oven to 400 degrees. And while that is getting ready, I'm gonna put all my stuff away. I really should not be eating. No. I've cleaned up my space. I made more messes, cleaned more messes up. All my dishes are in the sink now. No, wait, that's a big part of baking. Just like waiting around. And we're ready. I'm gonna transfer them into the bigger baking sheet that I have. All right. So now I'm gonna take the cream, dip it in this brush right here, kind of just wipe it off on the side. Then I'm gonna brush it on top of these right here. All right, I'm gonna sprinkle some coarse sugar. I use sugar in the raw, because that's the only coarse sugar we have, but I think that will be good. All right, and now I put them in the oven.
For some history on scones, the first mention of a scone was in the epic poem The Aeneid that was written in 1543. The word came from the Gaelic word scone, that meant a piece of bread that was cooked for a few minutes. At this point in time, most scones were made with oats. However, they are now mostly made with wheat. Now scones are a traditional English breakfast or tea time snack. They are even popular in the United States with an Americanized version of the recipe, including stuff like chocolate chips.
The scones are out. I would say they are a little overdone, but otherwise they look really good. All right, I'm going to let these cool for a little bit and I'll set up my serving platter and powdered sugar. I'm gonna put them all facing the center. All nice and cute, like that. And powdered sugar. So I happen to know their sifter's broken, so I'm just gonna like sprinkle it on top. Like this. Thank you. One of our judges is excited to try the scones. Oh, I probably shouldn't blow it. And my scones are done. today I have made for you chocolate chip scones.
Ooh.
All right, so the scones have a little bit of powdered sugar sprinkled on top, and it's almost like a chocolate chip cookie. I made it with some brown sugar to make it really rich. Are you ready to try a scone?
Yeah.
You are?
Let's see. You want to cut it?
Yeah, I want you to cut it.
Okay. You want this one? Okay. You
All
want
right.
that half? I'll have this half.
I'd
Ready?
like your honest opinion.
I like it.
Mmm.
You do?
Yummy.
You like it?
It's got a crunchy mouthfeel.
A crunchy mouthfeel?
I would say a little overdone on the bottom, on the outsides, but nice and fluffy and light on the top.
Yummy.
Thank you.
No, that's right. That would be.
I like
That
it.
would be my judgment.
Thank you. Now, Eliza, your judgment is yummy. I like it.
Yum yum.
Thank you. All right, it is day 2 of Gwendolyn's British Baking Show, and today I'll be making sticky toffee pudding. All right, so first it says that I have to make my toffee sauce. This takes a really long time. So the first thing I need to do is combine 1/4 cup of cream. All right, I'll get my cream going. And again, so butter, I need a stick. I have 2 half sticks, so that's what I'll be putting in, which is 1/2 cup of corn syrup. There, so there's the corn syrup with a little bit that I spilled. And this is, I don't think it needs it all. I spilled quite a bit in. Oh, why? I need to decide what I'm doing. All right, and then 1 cup of sugar. I'm gonna clean the corn syrup that I spilled. Oh, it's so gross. And then it says, bring to a boil. Just stir this up a little bit. It said combine it, so I'll stir it up. Oh, that's the butter. It's like, what is that? Right there. There's a lot of butter. Overall, this should be a pretty rich, sugary sauce. The richness will come from the butter and the heavy cream, and the sweetness will come from the sugar and the corn syrup. I'm gonna start my dates. So my dates, in a small saucepan, simmer dates in water. Okay, so here's the water. I need to, I'm so messy. Okay, I need a little bit more water. I haven't measured out my dates yet. I need 7 ounces. All right, so to get my cup. If you put the cup on top of the scale, it means that like the cup counts as like the 0 starting point. Let me stir this a little bit. I don't think you're supposed to stir it for that part. Okay. I feel like this is a good amount. So I need to do that. I need to simmer that over moderately low heat until the water is nearly absorbed into the dates. So I'm going to put the lid on this. Alright, so I'm going to come back over here. I really don't want this to burn. That's the main thing. So while I'm waiting, I'll make some tea with some vanilla spice tea right here. I'll just have that chill. Wow, I have 3 burners going. That's pretty cool. I kind of need to just be over here watching all this stuff while it happens. I can't tell if it's boiling or not. Oh, that is something. So now I have to stir it frequently. It smells like butter and milk, which is absolutely nasty. I hate milk. whenever I come. You need to stir this frequently so it doesn't sit and then crystallize, because that can happen when working with corn syrup and sugar. If you either let it sit or stir it too much, it starts to crystallize, depending on like what type you're making. It's definitely getting thicker. I can feel it getting thicker. They really skip over how long it takes to make this toffee sauce in the actual show. Like, this is taking like a long time. Also stressing me out having like two things going at once. I think this is pretty much done. I'll let that sit there for a second. Cool off. And pour that in here to food processor. Put this lid on to make sure it locks. Second, I have a problem. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna leave that in there for now. I'll need to pour it into the pudding mixture later, now that I have processed my dates and I'm stirring this at the same time. But this is forming now. I picked sticky toffee pudding for the technical, because technicals are supposed to be usually like a blind challenge, like they don't know what they're coming in to make, and I couldn't really do that because it was my project. I had to pick the bake. So I picked sticky toffee pudding because I didn't really know what it was. It was very traditional. I'd never tasted it before. So it was almost like a blind bake in that sense, where even though I knew the instructions, I didn't know what it was supposed to look like or taste like. So that's why I picked it. I'm gonna check on the dates. The date puree smells really bad. I'm taking this off the heat. It looks quite nice. Alright. It looks like that deep amber color. I think I took it off at the perfect time. I'm gonna put it through a bowl. A little sieve into it. So first I have to lightly butter my ramekins. So now I have to whisk my flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Butter and brown sugar. Alright, time to beat.
And so light and fluffy.
Alright, that looks deliciously white and fluffy. And then beat in the egg, vanilla. So I'll put in the egg. There. And now I have to beat in the date puree. Yummy. At a low speed, beating the dry ingredients. So I always like to add a little bit in at the time. So there. You never want to have it like just like go. Alright. So then I have to spoon the batter into the ramekins and smooth tops. Spoon it in. do a little bit into each at a time. Go over and smooth the tops. Alright, so I'm going to put them like this. Move everything out of the way. Alright, and I'm going to put these in the oven for 20 minutes. I'll start with 15 since I overbaked it yesterday. And now we'll show a time lapse of me cleaning up.
Here's some history on sticky toffee pudding. It was first originated in the Lake District of Great Britain during the World War II. It was first served to school children and still is today. There is an ongoing debate to whether a Canadian officer or a British baker created the recipe, so many give credit to both men. The recipe was then found by Frenchman Francis Coulson, who spread the treat across the world. It is always made with crushed up dates and a custard on top.
Alright, so I still have one of my toffee puddings still in the oven because it didn't really bake through with the rest did. So I'm going to turn this one upside down. So this is going to be the hard part. That's not what I wanted to have. Oh, that was dumb. I have to cut these in half, put the toffee sauce on the bottom, on the middle, and then on the top. And put them back in, let them bake for like 10 more minutes. Take them out and they should be nice, bubbly, and crisp. I'm gonna let these cool for a little bit because I don't want to cut into them while they're hot. Alright, so I let them cool for a little bit, so I'm gonna take them out. These are so fun. Out. I actually don't know how to get this out. Did it break? Oh, it chipped. It has a very small chip in it. So I have chipped this ramekin and I cannot use it anymore because it fell because of these. And this pudding also has chips in it. I can't use this pudding anymore either. But otherwise it looks really good and I thought it was going to turn out worse than this, so I'm happy. I'll use one of these. This is a worse idea. Ooh! That one worked. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna put this over here. So I can't use that. Oh yay! I'm so happy that one worked. Oh, lovely! I thought they were gonna come out and be like all like burnt and everything. So I'm loving that. Okay. So now I have to cut them down the middle, which is so intimidating. Okay. A little uneven, but I'll take it. Okay, now I need to take I have to put it in the bottom. I put the bottom in. And then I add some toffee sauce to the middle. So I put some in the middle. Oh dear. And pieced it back together. And now I put it. I did not break anything that time. The ramekins are just so slippery. And then you put some on top. Alright, all of them but one are about to go back in. Alright, and I'm going to put it in for 10 minutes. Doesn't have as much toffee on the top. finishing touches of the sticky toffee pudding, I will put whipped cream and warmed up toffee sauce on top. Ooh, all right. All right, and we're done. All right, today I have for you some sticky toffee pudding. It's made with dates and a sticky toffee sauce, and it's a pudding. Well, take a
Here we
spoon
go.
and dig in.
Looking forward to the mouthfeel.
You don't have to eat the whipped cream if you don't like it.
Maybe you should have to eat it.
Yeah.
Is it hot?
Are they all supposed to be the same? You might get points off. This one's a little littler than the
And
others.
that one's pretty huge.
I feel like
Yeah.
did we not ask you to make 6?
I also broke one.
Points off.
Okay.
It's tasty.
All right.
I like the bread. What's the bread in it?
It's like kind of like a cakey mixture, but with dates mixed in.
Okay.
Has like
I was a little nervous when you said dates.
I don't really like dates that much myself.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
Try
good.
it.
I'll
This is
try.
good.
I'll try some.
Good flavor. Good
Yeah.
butterscotch.
And good mouthfeel.
I just want to say mouthfeel. Let's see. I'll try for myself.
Oh, this was good. I can see why Brits like sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah.
It's like butterscotch lava cake almost.
Mm-hmm.
Better than I thought it was gonna be, honestly.
I'm gonna save some for dessert now. Boy.
It's supposed to be eaten warm though.
Well, we
That's
can
the same.
figure it out.
That's good.
That's a lot of toffee.
You came in 3rd on the technical.
Thank you.
I'm giving you the Star Baker Award.
We haven't done the last challenge yet.
Oh.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
For my final bake, I will be making a Victoria sponge. I chose a Victoria sponge because it is a classic British bake and it's named after Queen Victoria herself. Alright, so first I will make my raspberry jam. This goes in the middle. I'm making it first so it can cool while I'm making everything else. Alright, so first I have to mix all my ingredients in. Let's see, I need 3 cups of frozen raspberries. All right, I have my raspberries in and I need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. All right, and now my 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. Looks like a lot, honestly, but in proportion to the rest of the recipe, I think it's all right. And then a 1/2 cup of sugar. All right, and then it says, in a small saucepan, combine all ingredients and slowly bring to a boil over medium-high heat. Keep stirring until thickened for best results. So for a traditional Victoria sponge, you use strawberry, but I decided to use raspberry because this is the showstopper round. And I like raspberry jam better. It's my favorite type of jam overall. Okay. I think I'm finished there. Bring it off the heat. Stir it around a little bit to get all the heat out. Alright, it looks really nice. Alrighty, now I'm gonna make the actual cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cream my butter and my sugar. So this recipe needs a lot of butter. It needs 2 1/4 cup of butter, which is 4 sticks of butter plus another 1/4 cup. It needs a lot of butter. So Victoria sponge traditionally doesn't have a lot of buttercream frosting or anything. So I'm guessing
this is what makes up for not like that super frosty taste. It gives it almost that like nice buttery taste within the sponge. This amount of butter and sugar in the cake will give the cake its classic look, but still with a really rich flavor. Next, I'm gonna mix my wet ingredients in. So my wet ingredients are vanilla, let's see, milk, and eggs. Oh, that's my, it's like, what is that bowl for? It's for my frosting. All right, so my dry ingredients, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a new teaspoon. One and a quarter cups of flour. Oh, 2 and a quarter cups. Okay. My main goal today is not to bake anything and to make a good cake. So then what you do is you put in your dry ingredients a little bit at a time into here, just so that it doesn't go poof. So then what you need to do is put it into, so this will be like almost like a giant sandwich is what the cake's like. A sandwich of buttercream and what's the other thing? Buttercream and jam sandwich. Okay. It has 2 sections. It has this one and this one, so just put this in here. With these 2 cakes, I'm going to put them in the oven and wait. See, I should put them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I'll do 22 because, again, I do not want to overbake them.
Traditional tea time was created by the Duchess Anne of Bedford, who was one of Queen Victoria's ladies-in-waiting. She created it to have something to do around 4 o'clock every afternoon. Queen Victoria then adopted this tradition with all her ladies-in-waiting, and they would dress up and have desserts and delicious tea. One of these desserts was the classic sponge seen here. It was quickly named after Prince Albert died, and Queen Victoria would have tea every day with her ladies-in-waiting.
Alright, so I'm going to make my buttercream frosting. So I'm going to do 2 sticks of butter and a cup of powdered sugar. So, I mean, like, it's like, so I guess that's a cup of butter and a cup of powdered sugar. It's even. Plus some vanilla. If you must know, I accidentally took a time-lapse video and I didn't originally make enough frosting. Like, the recipe told me, like, not enough. So now this is like the second half. So there's a time-lapse video of me running around trying to figure this out. Like, yes, it might be more than enough, but I'd rather more than enough than not enough. Actually, I didn't say that on camera. I said that on the time-lapse, so that's not again. Alright, so I took my cakes out of the oven. They're nice and spongy in the middle. If they bounce back, if the cake bounces back in the middle, that means it's completely done. So I'm gonna let them rest for about 10 minutes and then I'm gonna flip them over and cool them on this cooling rack and then they'll be done. Alrighty, so I have let my cakes cool and now it is time to decorate them. So I'm gonna turn this one upside down, so that I will decorate it on the flat side right here. It's the uglier cake, so that's the one I chose to do this with. I'm thinking about whether or not I should shave off the top of the cake. I've decided not to do it. So, where'd my recipe go? Alright, it says spread buttercream on the bottom of one of the sponges, then spread strawberry jam on, and then sandwich the two together. So I'm going to take some buttercream, just plop it in the center. Also, this is like even there. I think that's good for the middle. It doesn't have to be like super attractive in the middle, as long as you get like a nice even layer. Buttercream is so good. Okay, now this jelly looks like the jelly I put on my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so that's pretty funny. I probably could have used that, but actually it's a glad thing it's good I didn't, because in the grocery stores they're actually out of it, so I made my own. So I think that's like a good amount. All right, I'm gonna put it on top. All right, there's the top. I think it looks quite nice. All right, and so the final touch will be powdered sugar on the top. All right, I have my powdered sugar, and I'm gonna sprinkle it on top. I'm gonna take some of my fingers, I'm gonna go like creating my own little sifter. All right, I'm gonna push this over. All right, and then I'm gonna wash my hands, wipe up the edge of this, put the powdered sugar away, and then I'm done. All right, and my cake is finished. Alrighty, so today I have prepared for you a Victoria sponge with a vanilla buttercream and a raspberry jam in between.
All right, looks pretty good for your showstopper. All right, let's try it. Any comments, Judge Ryan?
Can't wait for the mouthfeel. Okay.
I'm worried it might feel a little claggy, so let's see. It's pretty. I can smell it. It smells good.
Thank you.
That jam is good.
The raspberry part is absolutely wonderful.
That is good.
Thank you.
Cake is a little dry,
I call the sponge part a little dry.
but good job.
Thank
Top
you.
marks. 6th place.
I will nominate you for Star Baker.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yes, very good.
A handshake. Thank you for watching Gwendolyn's British Baking Show. I may have broken a few things here or there, but overall, I won Star Baker. My bakes turned out to be pretty good. And most importantly, I had a ton of fun. Thank you for watching.